internal culture that we have developed throughout the last 30 years, of course, has a background. There are certain things that you can trace by looking backwards into history. And there are certain things that might be uncertain about the future, but there are still, as a cut in time, there are certain things we can look into the history of Snøhetta and find and look at and understand. And one of them is maybe how we did the first big international competition with the library in Alexandria, when people from around the world gathered in Los Angeles and rented an apartment in downtown LA as an office. But not only rented the apartment, but from movie supply rental stores, we rented the desks and the rubbers and the pencils and the video screen that was used to looking at only one video film, which was called The Fly. We slept under the desks with all the people gathered, approximately 12 all together. Some people came out of Mexico, some people came from Norway, somewhere in LA, some came from Egypt. So it was this kind of collaborative place already from the very beginning. And the way we worked on that particular competition was as a flow of things. We have said that once you project your ideas into a project in a correct manner, that project will draw itself. It continues without much of your contribution, so we become kind of, as a group, the tools to fulfill the wish of the project, rather than forcing the project to become. And the first experience in downtown LA, I think, emphasizes this very much, this kind of collaborative model, this open space, everyone working together, sleeping under the tables, getting up in the morning, eating the same noodle soup downtown LA, you know, doing the things in a very horizontal manner, not one coming in and saying it should be like that, and then somebody else is sketching it out. It was this real growth of a concept into a possible building that then became, you know, the final result of the Alexandria Library. And that, to me, portrays back to my studies in Austria, where the drawing room was this big collaborative of people doing projects together in different constellations all the time. There was no real hierarchy. It was close to anarchy, I would say. But based on that, it was self-organizing to some extent. By interest, people found together in certain groups when they had and wanted to do something together, and then it dispersed, and then other groups were sort of joined together. So I think I'm carrying this in me from my time studying in Graz in Austria. And when we established then Snøhetta in Oslo, of course immediately we introduced this open space seating where every part of the company sits in the same room, where all the different professions are scattered around the room. Me sitting in exactly the same kind of work setup as anyone else coming into the office for a short period, a longer period of time. So these equalizers, Snøhetta is the big equalizer in a way, in order for people to be able to perform the best possible they can, sort of release themselves completely into this. You need to create these conditions for people to actually be there, be focused, be concentrated in the direction of what you want to do. And I think that history goes back to the LA setup, it goes back to the Snøhetta office in Oslo, and it goes back to the development of what we are today, still maintaining this enormous wide horizon of horizontality and trying to get everyone engaged at different levels for us potentially to get the best out of everyone.